Hello friends, welcome back once again. In part 2, we discussed about curriculum design in which we discussed steps involved in curriculum design, starting from analysis of social needs, translating the needs into course object learning objectives, and finally ending at syllabus formulation. This was followed by discussion on types of curriculum, namely overt curriculum, societal curriculum, hidden curriculum, and so on. We also briefly touched three phases of curriculum development that were instruction development, material development, and methods of teaching and testing, which we are going to discuss in detail in the next session by help of practical examples. The objectives of this session are introduction to Bloom's taxonomy and understand how learning happens. So we start with Bloom's taxonomy. Benjamin Bloom in 1956 discussed classification of learning outcomes in six categories, namely remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Now, as teacher, we need to understand that all these six classifications of learning has to be touched upon, and the syllabus is developed in a manner that in the beginning, that is first semester or first year, we mainly emphasize on remembering and understanding. Then from second year, we emphasize on applying and analyzing. And in the final year, the emphasis is usually on evaluating and creating. So all six classifications must be touched upon for making the learning effective among students. Let's start with remembering as the first point of the classification. What you remember and what you recall immediately comes under this particular classification. Say, for example, you ask the student to define something. You ask the student to give examples of a particular concept. You ask him to recall dates. You ask him to recall names of the creator of that concept, right? So these types of questions, when we ask, he has to use immediately his memory to recall something, and he will be able to recall something once he is remembering it. So the concept has to go into short-term memory or a long-term memory for this, and it will be better that if the concept goes into the long-term memory of the student, it becomes a permanent part of his memory, and he will be able to remember those things forever. Now, in order to test these types of concept, we go in for creating quiz, and we test his recall capability by asking multiple choice questions or fill in the blanks or true false types of questions, so that he is able to recall the concepts immediately and he is able to answer. Next point is understanding. So moving towards in-depth understanding and being able to construct meaning out of it. So unless he is not able to construct a meaning out of it, it will not be clear whether he has understood the concept or not. The example of this is reason for downfall of Mughals can be asked. He can be asked about teachings of Kabir and Baba Nanak. He can be asked how does nervous system work. So we basically ask the student to explain the concepts in order to test his understanding. Applying. Put your knowledge to use. Implement your understanding. So this is very important. Implement what you have understood. For example, knowledge of communication being applied for public speaking. So you have gone in for making him what are the features of a good public speaking, and now you ask him to actually demonstrate public speaking in front of the class. So then he is putting all his knowledge what he learned in the book into practical life. So that this is where he has started applying the knowledge which he learned in the class. Knowledge of MS Office applied for making PowerPoint presentation is another example of application. So we ask the student to perform a task in front of the class or otherwise, so as to understand ourselves whether the student is able to apply the concept or not. Analyzing. Think critically about what you know. Determine how concepts relate to one another and discuss the topic at length. Say, for example, what role has technology played in education? So then he can go in for analyzing when technology was being used, and he can start from board and chalk days to overhead projectors to PowerPoint projections, use of visual aids like YouTube, use of recorded sessions, and now use of these types of learning tools which we are using. So over a period of time, how technology has changed and how it has become the part of imparting education, all this type of things can be analyzed over a period of time. So he can discuss the topic at length. So over the period of years, how things have changed, he will be able to discuss. The second can be, how would you classify personality of Mahatma Gandhi? So then the student can start discussing how the personality of Mahatma Gandhi changed over a period of time, from the period when he was young and he was practicing in South Africa, to the period of his struggle for freedom in India, and finally by the time Britishers went, what type of personality Mahatma Gandhi ji was having. So this is how we can go in for making him analyze a particular concept by asking and framing the questions in a right manner. Evaluating. In this, he has to bring all pieces of education which he has got, the pieces of concepts which he has learned, together. And we can then put up questions like, what judgments can be made after you have critiqued the information. Right now, the information may be related to, say, rule of Britishers in India. So he will go through all the pieces of information available to him, and then he starts criticizing in favor or against that particular information, and he will be able to pass the judgment. What are the characteristics of consumer buying luxury products? So if this type of question is asked, now he has to not only evaluate luxury products, but he first of all has to evaluate normal products, how luxury products are different, and then he has to emphasize upon the characteristics of consumer buying related to luxury products. So unless he doesn't understand the buying characteristics of normal product and how luxury products are different from a normal product, he won't be able to tell us in detail the characteristics of consumer buying behavior for luxury products. What type of storylines are popular with horror film audience? So again, he has to first of all understand what type of storylines are actually available, be it related to comedy, be it science fiction, be it a commercial type of theater drama, right? And then how horror films are different from the types of different storylines which we discussed. And then in particular, he has to tell the storyline that are popular with horror film audience. This is very important concept. Creating all education which we are giving to student is with the goal of creation. So unless he is not able to make the knowledge gained in he is not able to use the knowledge gained in real life, uh, then till that point of time his knowledge is of no use. So he should be able to create a website to use for selling products. So he has gone in for doing a BCA, but ultimately we find that he is not able to create a website. So that type of knowledge will again be questionable. Write an essay on luxury consumers. So he will be able to write essay on luxury consumers only when he knows what are the different types of consumers and what are the different types of products and services available. Prepare an audio video presentation illustrating 4 P's of marketing. So he has to go out into the market and then go in for discussing all 4 P's through that video which he is creating, and he has to explain it to us. So when we give these types of exercises to the students, he is able to create something and show it to us. And the moment he starts creating, the knowledge which we have tried to give to the student goes into long-term memory of the student. So this is very important, that our student should be able to create something at the end of 2 years, 3 years, or the duration of the course, and then we can be sure that he has taken away some skills by undergoing that particular course. This is very important to understand how does learning happen. So make students develop their own notes and ask them to review it. They should be able to reflect on their notes. It is not that we dictate them and they go in for writing, but whatever we explain to them, whatever we discuss in the class, they should be able to take the notes out of it, and then they should be able to put forward their viewpoint into it, and ultimately we should go through their notes to see whether they have been able to understand what we were trying to explain in the class or not. Now, I would like to highlight that there is a concept of reflective notes which is coming up, which is again made a part of evaluation process. And we ask our students to maintain a diary in which he goes in for writing notes. And sometimes we also give him some types of exercises which he has to do so as to create a reflection of his understanding through those notes. And at a regular interval of time, we can take that diary to assess whether the student is learning something in our class or not. It is important that we create their groups in the beginning of the semester, so that in the groups they start learning. There should be some assignments which should be given to the group. The idea of creating group is that peer-to-peer learning is encouraged by creating these types of study groups. I also discussed about Senshin groups, which which was a concept created by Harvard, and it has been found that when students study in groups of their peers, their learning is better. Discuss and address to their concerns. So their learning, through their learning, they may be having some difficulties, and as teachers, we must address to their difficulties and remove them. We should avoid discouraging them. We should always encourage them to ask questions in the class so that their learning is enhanced, and try to attain their goals innovatively. And we should keep on changing the way of teaching in the class. We should involve them through different innovative exercises in the class so that their interest remains in whatever we are teaching. It is very important to understand as teachers that when we are dealing with technology nowadays, Dr. Google is there everywhere and it is available on their phone. So before we start discussing the concept, they start searching the things on the mobile phone. So as teachers, we will be only given importance if we give them something new in the class, and we make our class innovative, creative, and they would like to come to our class to learn something new. Now, if that something new is missing, then we are in problem. So as teachers, it's a challenge for all of us that we should go in for creating something new in every class, and we should be able to retain their interest in the subject at every point of time. Finally, let's go in for understanding once again and recall what we have learned in this particular session. We discussed about 6 classifications given by Benjamin Bloom in 1956, from remembering to creating. So recognizing and recalling facts come under remembering. Understanding what the facts mean comes under understanding. Applying the facts, rules, concepts, and ideas come under application of the concept. Breaking down information into component parts comes under analyzing. Judging the value of information or ideas comes under evaluation. And combining parts to make a new whole is creation. So our goal is to make our student create something by the end of the course. So that's end of part 3. We now meet in part 4, where we'll discuss some practical concepts related to curriculum design. Thank you.